Respected Prime Minister Shriman Narendra Modi ji, I wish you Almighty's blessings for complete success in the ongoing war against coronavirus. As matters stand today, the inevitable questions that arise are: 1. Does India have a war strategy to win the war on corona? And what's the target date to win this war? India's corona graph had turned very steeply upward from April 1st and much more steeply from May 1st. It is likely to turn much more steeper from June 1st, which means the human catastrophe due to corona is increasing devastatingly. There is also the economic catastrophe facing us, and you have been rightly taking decisions for restarting the economic activity. Can we win this war on both fronts, human and economic? I strongly believe that we can. Within what time? Within 2 months. The target date can be something like July 15th. What is the strategy for winning the war within this target date? Now, we have to answer a few questions for ourselves. First two questions are: what are all the methods through which corona is spreading at all, and how we can block all these paths and arrest coronavirus from spreading? The well-known and recognized answers for this are: about 80% spread is through human physical contact. About 10% is through spitting, coughing, and sneezing. About 10% is through non adherence to personal hygiene in respect of self and in respect of vegetables, fruits, groceries, etc., taken from outside homes to inside the homes. To my knowledge, there are no other methods of spreading. Let us look at each source of coronavirus. Spitting on vegetables, fruits, and people was widely used many times deliberately until it was made a punishable offense. Now it is almost absent. This is a significant success, sir. We need to learn a few lessons from this experience. We did not punish anybody, but the threat itself did the trick. For not spreading and not catching corona through coughing and sneezing, government has prescribed the face mask. 75% of the people seem to be adopting this. 25% of the people are not adopting this due to lack of knowledge, carelessness, and third, lack of penal measures to enforce discipline. So, lack of knowledge, carelessness, lack of penal measures to enforce discipline are responsible for this. Government must therefore inform the people about the method of spreading of corona through coughing and sneezing, how the mask protects us and others from corona. So that is second. Third is levy a penalty of say 100 rupees for not wearing the mask on public roads, shops, offices, etc. Enforce it, sir, as much as possible. Lathi is not required and should not be used, sir, except in rare cases of defiance. If you penalize 10 people, 10,000 will know and follow. The most important method, the next method that we are coming to, is through which the corona spreads is, of course, through personal physical touch of others by patients. Over 70% of corona spreading is through this method. Now, here again, it happens due to 1. Lack of right and full information, 2. Carelessness, and 3. Lack of enforcement. Always, these are the three factors contributing to the spread of corona or any disease for that matter, any disease. The first step is therefore informing the people fully of number 1, how corona spreads easily through the touch of a patient or when we touch surfaces which he has touched. Number two, how carelessness contributes to this disease. Number three, why all people should definitely and without fail adhere to social distancing. And next, punishment by fine of rupees 100 for violating social distancing norms on public roads, shops, offices, factories, and other public places. Sir, widely and effectively informing people through pamphlets, notices, posters, billboards, and wall writings is the method I am suggesting to ensure that the information reaches every citizen in India. I have suggested these methods in my earlier Hindi video dated 10th and email dated 25th addressed to you, sir. Sir, TV interviews and websites are ineffective in conveying the information to all people correctly. Physical touch method of transmission of the disease is the most important one, and therefore informing 100% of the people of it with full implications is also most important. This is the first duty of all district administrations. But this has not happened at all. Today, there is huge misinformation and non-information and therefore non-adherence to social distancing principle, which is very important by so many people. So the first failure of government has to be rectified first. Well-designed public notices and pamphlets must be distributed to all houses. Well-designed posters must be pasted at all prominent places in all towns. Now, these have tremendous advantages over TV interviews and websites. Posters can be and will be reread again and again on many days, at many places by men, women, and children also, and they will understand the essential points without scope for any doubt or misinterpretation by media, politicians, or others. So, clarity of information and full information will be achieved through notices, pamphlets, and posters. The next step is enforcement on for violations on public roads, buses, trains, flights, offices, shops, and factories. Any individual should be allowed to complain about deliberate physical touch by the adjacent individual, and police must levy fines of rupees 100. Police must look out for cases of violations on public places, roads, and shops especially, and enforce the fine of rupees 100. Even shops and factories and offices must be asked to collect such fines of rupees 100 and remit them to state governments. For deliberate defying, they must also refuse service. If spitting can be made punishable, why not deliberate physical touching by an unknown person, which is probably the most catastrophic event emanating from a potential corona patient whom we do not know? He can infect 100 people in a single day. Can we succeed in finding all physical touching cases and punishing them? No, not necessary. The basic idea is to show that deliberate violation of social distancing rule invites punishment. That's all. Soon, adherence percentage will improve tremendously. It may never exceed 95%, but the exercise itself is good and will be fruitful in containing the spread of corona at much lower levels than at present. Social distancing must become a part of our culture, sir, so that we can become immune to such viruses for all times to come. About hand washing, washing of vegetables, fruits, and other things, pamphlets and posters are necessary, but no enforcement is possible because these things happen in their homes. However, every day looking at posters will improve adherence. All public violations that affect others must become punishable. All private behaviors which are important to the individuals themselves must be informed and left to them. As on date, there is no information to 100% of the population on the above most important four behaviors or even on quarantine behaviors, etc. Without information, there can be no voluntary complaints or compulsory enforcement. Government must therefore impress on state governments to first inform all people through pamphlets and posters on all the do's and don'ts of all citizens. Without that, there can be no voluntary compliance. After information, violations must be identified and punished with mild fines. In case of serious violations, fines can be heavier or even a day in jail may be prescribed. There are no medicines, real medicines, and no vaccines as of today. Even when a vaccine comes, maybe within about 4 or 5 months, when can we actually vaccinate 130 crores of people? In any case, Corona can be expected to be with us for several more months and inflict heavy casualties unless we do all the above things. Therefore, beyond information and punishment, we need to do one thing more. We need to do intensive search for all potential patients and quarantine them all. If governments can quarantine all potential patients, either at a hospital or at home, all states can become green zones immediately. Government must induce all potential patients to submit to quarantine with good food, good assurances, etc. Here also, well designed pamphlets and posters will help a lot. These are a small one-time investment. If this can be done intensively, the country can definitely become a green zone within 2 months. The graph will nosedive. If not now, when can we do it, sir? If not you, who else can do it, sir? I wish you and India complete success in our war with Corona. I am your fan and well-wisher always. I am Vijayamohan from Tamil Nadu, sir. Thank you.